Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about the cultural shocks that I first came across when I stepped into the beautiful, clean, happy country of Finland, and I'm going to be putting forward 5 cultural shocks that shook me a little and things that were new to me, and I would love for you to see the whole video so that you know what you're going to be coming across when you're gonna first come in the country called Finland. So the first cultural shock for me was the quietness and the stillness in the nature. Whenever you step out of your house, ultimately you meet a silence that is sometimes greater and more deafening than what you experience in your house if you don't have a lot of members. When I first moved into Finland, I was obviously having an idea that it's going to be quieter than my country because of less honks and less public traffic and less number of people, because the population is way too smaller than if you compare with the 10 biggest population-wise countries in the world, of course. But then when you are walking on the street, you will obviously expect some buzzing or some noise to be there, but there's just complete deafening silence. And I think that if you're someone who has this penchant towards noise or some white noise, then I think that it's going to be quite a task for you to settle in with such silence in the environment. But after some time, it's going to become a normal thing for you, and you're going to get super used to being quiet and having silent times all by yourself. The next point is something that follows up on the first point of the silence, is the nature of people here. People here are quite shy and reserved when it comes to mingling, and they are very bad at breaking the ice when they're in a group setting. So it's not that they don't want to talk to you, but more so they want to have the ice broken by you, and you could help them by doing so. If you are a sociable and extroverted person, you would not find it hard to break the ice in a room full of. They would really appreciate that, and they would love to talk to you and engage in meaningful conversations. So far, every conversation I've had with a Finn has been really deep and insightful, but they've always struggled to break the ice and introduce themselves or to come forward. And South Asian culture or the American culture, which is very forthcoming, people like to introduce themselves. People like to you might need to get into the practice of breaking the ice and making the other person feel comfortable. And once they do feel comfortable in your company, I kid you not, they're going to be really humorous down the line, and they're going to be really quirky also, and very insightful in whatever you talk to them about. So it's not that they're not entertaining, it's just that they need a little nudge and a little push. Very important Finnish cultural thing is that they are very respectful of the time. So punctuality is a must for them. If you give them a time, or if you are inviting them on some given time, and you are gonna be having that at the back of your mind that maybe they're gonna take some time and reach a little late, or maybe it's going to have a 10-15 minutes grace period between them arriving at your door. But don't expect that, because I think that we are normally functioning in a way to expect guests coming after a little grace period after the time that they're invited on. But when I first came in Finland, I saw that people are really respectful about the timings, and if you are invited somewhere at, let's say, 2 p.m., then they are going to be expecting you at around 1:58 p.m. or 1:59 p.m. to be there, or maybe 2 sharp. But if you come after 5 minutes, that is going to be counted as you coming late. So you have to be super respectful about timings, especially when you're in a professional environment, or you have to show up for an interview or any meeting that is going to be conducted on a business or professional realm. So you need to be really, really careful about that. Punctuality is a big thing. Just be careful about that. The fourth thing that was really shocking to me, and I would actually consider it as a real shocker, was how liberated the Finnish culture or the Finnish society is built in a way that they like to give freedom and independence to the children at a very young age. With that being said, so they're very cautious of how they train their children to be all by themselves. Like, you're gonna be watching children roam around the city, you're gonna be watching them take buses, children from the age of 6 to 7 start appearing in buses and navigating their ways on their own, and it's super like different, it's super unique, and something that gives me the idea that Finnish society really takes children into consideration while designing their city and their plans, because everything is super child friendly. Even in trains and even in like public parks and everywhere, you're gonna find swings and areas for children to play. So they are very respectful of the spaces given to children, so they liberate their children at a pretty young age, that is from 6 to 7. And I cannot even think of children going outside of the house back in my home country, even at the age of 14 or 15. That's considered young, and there's always a guardian with them. So that was a real shocker when I saw children all by themselves without any parents. The fifth thing that was really amazing to me, because it was something that I was not used to, but obviously having kind of a cultural setting and an upbringing that has been too different than how the West functions, you're not accustomed to hear no as an answer, or rather our cultures really they make up words to fill in if they want to say no to you. They're super restrictive or reluctant in saying no, and I have come across this in the Finnish society, that if there's something that has a no as an answer, then you should expect a no, and you shouldn't expect any replacement words for that. They're not going to make excuses. If they're not going to be able to do something for you, the answer is going to be no. If they're not going to be able to make up to a party or somewhere you have invited them, the answer is going to be no. And that is not because they're disrespectful or anything, but that is just because the Finnish society or the Finnish upbringing is straightforward and really based on honesty. So rather than upsetting you later, they would put forward the truth in front of your face in the beginning, so that you don't have any false expectations. And it is really honest of them to be truthful in the beginning before making any commitments, because if they do make any commitments, they don't fall short of that. Although I decided to give you just 5 cultural shocks, but just another bonus culture shock for me at least was that there's not a really common culture for tipping in the restaurants, because once I tried to do that and it was not met with a lot of welcome. I just wanted to tip someone and they were like, no, it's okay, don't do that. I have been brought up in a society where tipping is a big part of eating out and gracious part of giving some money to the waiters or to the helpers, and that was just a shocker to me. But that's just uniqueness of a different culture. When we are relocating to another country, there are certain things that are going to come as a shock for us, but then again, what are you expecting? Are you expecting the same kind of environment? Then I think that you're not logically being honest to yourself, because every country has a different set of norms and every country has a different culture that they respect and uphold, and I think it's very much respected by the expats as well and the immigrants. And I think that just learning the language or just wearing the dresses are not enough to assimilate or to integrate yourself in the culture, but to actually respect the culture and to try to do the same things, even if it bothers you sometimes, is actually what assimilation means. That's all from my side for this video. I hope you got some insights and you enjoyed my video. I'm going to be appearing in the next video pretty soon with some more information, some interesting bits. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, like my video if you like my content, and of course please do comment below. Let me know about your thoughts, let me know what you want to see more, and I'll try to keep you updated with everything that's going around. And obviously this is a safe space for conversating, so I would encourage you all to give me your ideas and your takes on my video. Until next time, take care of yourself. Goodbye.